Looks like we're gonna do a motor swap on the brand new 0 mile motor. That's not brand new and does not have 0 miles on it. She popped a head gasket, and rather than going to a machine shop and having it decked and everything, we've got the other motor from the white tracker. We're gonna pull this motor, throw that motor in there. Figure you guys want to go along for the ride, and I don't know, maybe crazy stuff will happen, so let's get it. Okay, this is the end of day 3. Alex threw a paint job on her. She looks pretty freaking nice. It took us way too long to find bolts with the right thread pitch and length. I don't even want to get into that because it's not that funny for me. Nah, I'm just kidding, but it was a total pain. Obviously got this thing all torn down. We did wash and clean it, which we need to do again. It looks like crap still. So we're gonna clean this all off. Then we're actually gonna repaint the block. There's some stuff we still need off the old engine. I'm gonna pull the alternator because we know the alternator is good. I don't know if the alternator on that is still good. We got cap rotor. We did the rear main seal. We're gonna do the valve cover seal, oil pan seal, or gaskets, sorry. Timing belt. And then the front seal. And I think that's pretty much all we're doing for that engine. So we're hoping tomorrow we should be able to put all of the wiring harness from all that stuff. So all that should go in by the end of tomorrow. Hopefully this should be done. Interior back in, yeah, and then just waiting for that because we're also going to do the seals on the transmission and the transfer case, get it washed, get it painted, do the filter and the pan gasket. So pretty much kind of a freshen up of everything but the rings and like rod bearings and blah blah blah. We are gonna, when we get the oil pan off, check the bearings, just make sure they're not crap. But that's it for today. See you guys tomorrow. Beginning of day 6. This is the beginning of day 6. So everything has gone, half of everything has gone wrong. From the $300 bolts, we'd order a timing belt. It would need to be the next day. It'd come in, it'd be the wrong one. We have to order it again, which would be the next day. So that's finally in and correct. We've had seals that have been wrong. Literally, of all the things that we've ordered, which has been dozens of parts at this point, 50% of them have come in just wrong. I don't know what the deal is. This job we figured we were gonna be done in 3 days. We're on day 6. What can I tell you? So we have no engine, all that's painted. The wiring harness is in, starting to look good. Our engine is starting to look really good. We do have, like I just said, the timing belts in. Our header, actually, yeah, the header's sitting over here. So this is pretty much what the final product will look like, which we think is super dope because that turd sucked and this is awesome. But basically, by the end of today, we're hoping to have this mated to the transmission and transfer case and put in this giant hole right here. The wiring harness was also weird. We've lost one of them that we need for one of the connections for the rear lights to work. So I'm gonna start working on that because I'm probably gonna have to wire in just a generic 20-pin connector so that still looks nice. I don't want to solder together, that'd be dumb. But yeah, let's get to work.
We got an issue. Our turbo is leaking. Yep, that was all the way. Turbo juice. Turbo juice got all over Alex. What is he doing? You got that in build, bud?
Yeah, I did, bud. The beginning of day 7. We finally did some stuff and some things. Just kidding, we've been doing stuff and things the whole time, but this looks way cooler. So motor's in, motor mounts are attached. We still have to do the transmission mounts, which realistically, those are actually transfer case mounts. So the plan for today is we're gonna get fluids and everything. Obviously start hooking up all of these connectors, get the radiator in, radiator shroud in, hook up some of the air conditioning stuff because he's gonna have air conditioning now. We should have a busy day, and hopefully I'll be doing another video in a couple hours of the first startup. This did not go as well as we thought. This is the plug that does the all the rear lights. When we switched over from the new to the old plug is right here. I don't know if you can tell, but they are not the same thing. So I've got a plan to use an old connector off the old harness, which should work just fine. But this is not our top priority today. Day 15. Now I know what you're thinking. Weren't we just at day 7? We were. So every day we came in, worked for about 7 days. We were just doing such small things because we kind of kept running into roadblocks that it wasn't worth filming anything. Well, once you get 7 days in, well, we've kind of got a lot. So there you go. The motor is entirely in. Header is on. All the accelerator cable, the detent cable is all hooked up. So we found a bunch of structural stuff here. I know they're horrible booger welds, but first of all, I'm not an amazing welder, but this stuff is probably some of the thinnest sheet metal I've ever tried to weld. Every time you touched it, it would instantly melt through. So I had to do what I had to do to get it done. We'll grind all this down, paint it, and it will look like we were never here. But this is all structural now. The inside of the truck, honestly, I think is pretty much the same as day 7. We did label a bunch of stuff, but we're really having a hard time basically mating up the back of the 1990 with the new connectors that are in the dash from the 94. So that's been fighting us. We're basically going to end up taking all of the connectors, depinning them, matching them up with their respective colors of wires, get the thing running. It does turn over, it doesn't run yet. So that's kind of what we're working on now. We had to, one other thing we did, so our front bumper was just, I don't want to say aftermarket, but some hillbilly made, I don't know. But basically it ran into the AC fan here. So we had to pull that out and actually notch that. I'll show you guys that real quick, because Alex is over here painting it. So we had to cut a huge notch out of this so that will clear the fan. But we'll get this thing painted black and then get that thrown on the truck. And then we'll keep working on the wiring and yeah, get back to work, I guess. So I know this kind of looks like a nightmare, but on some chance you have to do wiring in your car, you don't need to just start cutting these wires. You can actually de-pin these connections, which is what we've done right here. So as you can see, they still are intact. And then we're able to pair up all these wires. So we've got all the reverse working, the turn signals, the lights, everything's working. And then once we're done getting all the wires matched up, then we can route the wiring harness the way we need it to go. So just a little tip if you find yourself having to do this. There we go. Well, here's where we are. The whole truck is done. We do have to put the dash and the wiring together. We've got power everywhere. We've run down every single wire in the entire wiring harness. We've replaced the distributor. We've replaced the cap rotor twice. We replaced the igniter, plugs. Ignition coil. Basically the entire, we checked the ignition switch. So we've pretty much replaced every single thing in the ignition system, and we still don't have spark. So $300 later, we bought a new ECM. I jumped on Facebook, talked to a bunch of the guys in the tracker group, and probably 70% of them said, check the ECM. Well, I don't really have a good way to do that, so we just bought one. So this is us trying to start this thing for the first time after doing literally everything, and if it doesn't start, probably just gonna set it on fire and watch it burn. So should go ahead and throw the battery cable on and we'll see what happens. No sparks?
It's unplugged. But no sparks, it's on.
What's unplugged?
The ignition wire coil. The wire to the coil.
Right. Is this still going?
No.
You watching?
Yep.
You filming?
Yep.
Don't think I've got it in me. Alright, boys.
Stop. No spark from there?
Go ahead.
It's most definitely sparking.
Take 9,871. 72.
Ready?
Are you ready? Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Found it. It's way over there.
Where is it? Is it ahead or?
It's a head. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we
Try
sparkle
it
it.
again.
Okay.
Oh!
Oh,
Yes! Let's go!
It ran.
Woohoo! Come on. Yeah, baby! Oh. Okay, folks, we are on the home stretch. Now that we got the thing running, we do still have to get it up to operating temperature and then set the final timing advance to make sure that that's all good, which is something you have to do, you know, when you dig in, do the timing belt, all that fun stuff. But we are super, super close. So Alex is gonna work in the engine bay. He's got most of the wiring wrapped back up. We're gonna get it nice and tucked so it looks like we were never here. He's gotta get obviously the box on. We've got a couple other little odds and ends, like we need coolant, we need some brake fluid, yada, yada, yada. Several things we gotta do, but we're super, super, super close. The interior is still a little haggard, if you will. I still have this nest to deal with, which I'm not excited about at all. But I think the long and short of it, we're probably, I don't know, 5 hours from being completely done and driving this thing out of here. So with that information, let's get to work. We are finally finished with the tracker. This was one of the hardest jobs we've done. Actually, if you want to come on in here, you can see that everything's been swapped over, everything's wrapped and put back where it's supposed to, everything looks good. The dashboard, all that, put back in. So this is all done. We have the soft top on instead of that crap hard top. So one of the main things that was just a nightmare about this thing is once we did the swap, we would start the truck, it would idle and run for a few seconds and then shut down. So Alex and I spent probably hundreds of hours tracking every wire down. We switched out ECUs. In the end, it turned out, which is just crazy, turned out we got a bad distributor, brand new bad distributor from Rock Auto. So we got the better one from AC Delco, put it in the crank angle position sensor that's inside the distributor was actually bad. The upside to this is coming toward the end. The car was kind of starting to run and do what it's supposed to do. We thought we had it figured out, which we didn't, because it shut back off, but it finally had enough time to run the computer to learn what was supposed to be happening, and the computer finally threw a code, which was code 42, which led us straight to the distributor. So we put the old distributor back in it. She runs perfectly. However, it no longer shifts, so that's fun. So in the next video, we're gonna figure out why this pile of crap no longer shifts. So you should subscribe, because frick, if you've always been a subscriber, you are the best, and I guess we'll catch you next time.